This is Erin with Hand Stamp Style, and I am coming to you with my very first video, so bear with me. We are going to be making a backpack. Little, I don't know, it could be a party favor, it could be a little gift item. So let me show you how to make these. You're going to start out with a piece of cardstock that is measured 11 inches by 7 inches. First at 1/2 inch, then at 3 3/4 inch, 4 3/4 inch, 5 3/4 inch, 9 and 10 inches. And then you'll actually twist it or rotate it and score it at 1 1/2 inches. And then what you'll want to do is put your sticky strip on it, because if you're making a project like this where you have a lot of tension, the sticky strip, honestly, once you put it down, it's not going anywhere. So you definitely want the sticky strip for any project like this where you're having to hold cardstock together. Okay, so you put a piece of your sticky strip on the little 1/2 inch flap here on the side. And just know that that piece is going to go on the inside of your box. You'll also, once you score this 1 1/2 inch line, you'll want to go through and make a couple of slits. The first one is, actually the easiest way to remember this is on your wider areas of your box, which is your front and back, you'll just slit or cut right down, only up until your score line. Cut here and here, and then here and here, and that's it. And then you'll want to cut off this little piece down here, just that little square. So we've got our sticky strip right here. That'll hold our box like 4 walls almost. And then I flip it over and I go ahead and put my sticky strip down here on my little flaps, and that'll hold the bottom shut. And you've got your sticky strip here on both ends of your 2 flaps. That'll hold your bottom shut. On this 1/2 inch flap, instead of putting the sticky strip closest to the end here, you want to put it closer to your score line, because you want a nice secure closed edge on your box. And then we fold. And we're going to fold this flap in, and then fold that side in, and then we do what I call a Z fold, where we kind of bend this one back and that one in. Okay, so it looks kind of like a W. And then the same thing on this side here. Back and back. Okay, and you kind of flatten it out. Okay, so you are going to make sure that the box is laying flat, just like this, and your score line is up, or your sticky tape is up, and then you fold this over and it becomes a perfect square. That's a good way to kind of double check and make sure that you're not going to have like a wonky box. All right, the holes here, I actually made these with my Crop-A-Dile, and if you've got a Crop-A-Dile, it works really slick because it's just easier to use. And if you can notice, or if you notice, let me see if I can get that in the shot, there are 2 sizes. There's a small side and a larger size. And just to show you real quick, once you remove that flap, these are really easy to get to. You'll just go in there, and then I held this back and then slid it in here, and then do the 2 at the top. Piece of cake. Okay, so let's adhere our box together. And I'll just apologize in advance that you're having to look. These are not sausages you see moving around the screen. These are actually my fingers. And yes, they're quite round and very sausage-like. Okay, so you can see I kind of made sure that I had plenty of security there on that. And then you can move. See now, like you can see that mine's slightly off, and what I like to do is force it. Force it into a perfect square. Okay, and there we go. There's your box. Okay, now we're going to move on to our ribbon. Change colors on you. Like I said, I used grosgrain ribbon because I was making a whole bunch of these. I actually had a lot of grosgrain. So this is our 4th inch grosgrain. This is actually Marina Mist. And what you'll want to do, it's about 11 inches. If you're going to use wider ribbon, you're going to cut a longer length than that. You'll want to make a knot on the end of both of your pieces. Now, I will tell you, with the thinner ribbon, I like to leave a little bit of an overhang, and I'll kind of show you why here in just a second. Okay, and you also want to make sure that the overhangs are as close as they possibly can be in length. Dang, that's That's almost perfect. Okay, so you've got your pieces. What you're going to want to do is feed them, and this is for the bottom. You're going to want to feed them through the bottom. Okay, to take a little glue dot. Although, you know what, here's the thing. I would probably do this anyway because of the fact that when I put things in here, I don't want them competing or fighting with the space available with these little ends. So I probably would still secure them down. So, and then I just turn them and then stick them down onto the card, or down onto the card stock. Oh, don't stick there. Okay, so do you see how I did that? That way it doesn't really fight with anything once I put something in the box. Okay, so that's our ribbon so far. I used a top note, the top note die, the scallop envelope die, and a couple of punches, and we'll get to that in a minute. I punched out or cut out 2 top note dies. I did 1 solid cardstock piece and a designer series paper as well. So, okay, so first we're going to start with our top note. I actually cut these and glued them together prior to scoring them or doing punching holes or any of that. And I just trimmed around the perforated edge that is on the top note die to give me a little bit of a lip of cardstock. And then I went in and punched, and as you can see, these are way off, so chances are they're not going to match up with my box perfectly, but that's okay, I can go in and fix them. Once you've got them glued, and I just used Tombow glue, which is this fabulous stuff here. The greatest thing, it's got a wide tip and a fine tip on it. Fabulous. And I just did around the edges, stuck it on, let it dry. Then you want to take your scorer, and if you've got one of those new Simply Score It's, I'm jealous because I haven't gotten mine yet, but I can't wait. And I just match up the little cleavage, that's what I call it a cleavage, those little bumpies right there. I just match them up to the little line in my paper cutter and score a halfway. Oops. Or you can destroy the cardstock like I did. It's pretty durable. Too busy trying to look at the camera to make sure that you guys can see what I'm doing versus looking at my project. Okay, so you want to score it. Fix your little cardstock once you mess that up. Tell you, people love it at my classes because I think I mess up way more than they do, which makes them feel a heck of a lot better. Okay, so you've got your little folded piece. And this is going to be your front. And we've already got the sticky strip on the inside. So we're just going to take off our red pieces. It is double-sided. Okay, so I'm going to try and match up the holes on the top note here to the holes on the back of my backpack. What I like to do, like I said before, I use my fingers a lot to kind of center and shape things, and I put my fingers in the little, what I call the hips of the top note, and then I'm gonna use that to kind of center it to my box before the sticky strip grabs on for dear life. So I apologize if you can't see this very well in the video, but I kind of want the score line to be slightly lower than the edge of the box. Okay, I think that's a pretty good fit right there. So we just want to make sure that is secure. And as you can see, my holes, whoop, they don't perfectly match up. I can't even get it in the screen. There we go. But that's okay. It is going to match up enough to get these in. So then we just want to pull our string through, and then we'll put knots on them in a second. I'm going to go ahead and close up the bottom so that it is easier for me to work at the top. So it's centered. Okay, so again, I'm going to use my fingers to make sure that the sides are completely square. Then we're going to do the other side. Again, taking my fingers. There we go. Okay, and we've got our box. Now, on this side, I'm going to tie knots again on these two ends. There we go. I'm going to lay this down flat so I can actually put these glue dots on. I'm just going to take the string from the back and pull it just like that. Hopefully these won't stick together. And then just like before, I'm going to secure it down to the bottom. Again, do the same thing. Pull, bend, secure. Now we are just going to move on to our envelope. I cut little pieces of the designer paper and trimmed them down because this too has perforation around it, around the top. I don't know if you can see the little, yeah, there you go, perforated lines. I used the Tombow glue for the sides, and I put the glue on the actual large flap on the ends here, and then I used just paper clips to hold it until it was secure. But before you do that, I actually put the brad in. And you can use any designer brad. You want to make sure that you put it on a little loose so that it can actually move around. I don't know if you can see me doing that with my finger. It's got a little bit of give to it. And the hole, I used the small side of my crop dial, and it's 1/4 of an inch down, pretty much in the center. And then what you'll do is and I like to, just so it doesn't fight with me as much, I like to really crease it, all of my scored areas. And then you kind of give it a back bend, work the scallops in there, and then it's closed. And I'm actually going to make a little card that fits in here for the teachers. I'm hoping to get those done tomorrow because school starts in just a few days. All right, so we've got our glue on the back, or our sticky strip on the back, and we are going to center it to the bottom, and then I'm going to stick my hand in and really make sure that that is stuck down there. Okay, this is the front part that will actually sit. Let's see if I can get this closed. Yeah, there we go, like that. It'll close like that, and then this will actually be adhere to the top right there. I used my Thanks a Million stamp from, I got this for free because of my sales during Celebration. I got 2 free stamp sets worth $47.95 or less. So of course I picked the most expensive ones I could find, which were 2 sentiment stamp sets. And this is called Wordplay, and it's got sentiments for almost every occasion, holiday. It's great. And I just stamped it on white cardstock and then used my extra large oval punch to punch out the sentiment. And then I used my, oh, where'd it go? There it is. Decorative label punch and some Daffodil Delight cardstock. And then I just layered them. And I used dimensionals to do that. I don't know if you can see. Whoa, right in there. Oh, I can't. There we go. So then what we're going to do is along the top of the back, we put our sticky strip, because we're only going to adhere the top of this to our thing. If I could get it off. There we go. And then what I do, I'm going to kind of show you, is I match up the cleavage of the top note to the cleavage of the decorative label. It's pretty close. Okay. Then I take some of these thin Velcro, and what I do is I get them together first before I actually stick them down. There we go. They're super sticky too. And I like these clear ones because they're super thin. They don't add a lot of bulk to your project. Okay, and then we're gonna hold our box closed as well as we can. Close this. Give it some pressure. And we're gonna open it and make sure that these are actually secure. And then this is really a lot easier to close these if you're not doing it upside down. And there you go. Perfect little backpack.